Hi, my name is beyou-lye, and in this short video I would like to talk about a very interesting topic, namely resistance. I mean here the emotional resistance or the psychological resistance against something. In psychology we call also the resistance rejection, so we reject something, we don't want to have it. We have an aversion against something. So this topic, resistance, is very important and it influences us in our everyday life. We can have resistance against everything and everyone, basically. We can have resistance against a person, against a political situation. We can have resistance against the weather. We can have resistance against the behavior of our partner, of our boss, of our friends, and against ourselves. So before we continue with this video, check where you have resistance against someone or something. So do you have resistance against some ethnic groups or political situations? Is there some resistance against some people or behavior of people? For example, if someone is is treating people in an unfair way, or is taking like a lot of space and attention when he or she comes in? Or do you have resistance against your partner? Are there some behaviors you really reject in your partner? Or do you have resistance against some features and behaviors of yourself? For example, do you have resistance against some weaknesses, against when you are sad or emotional, or when you are angry? Or maybe you reject also your vulnerability and don't want to show it and don't want to accept it. You can stop the video at any time in order to take your time to write down where you have resistance before you continue with new inputs. So probably you would say like, so what? I don't like everything and I don't need to like everything, and I have to have this resistance against the people or the behaviors. Otherwise I would accept everything without fighting it. The problem is that the energetic rule is saying something completely different. And it really doesn't mean that you have to like everything or everyone, but it's important to use the energetic rule in a very wise way. So, as an example, this is you. And imagine you are at a party and there's a situation you don't like or a person you don't like. For example, a person who is very charismatic or very loud or shows another behavior you don't really like. So in that moment, maybe you build up resistance and your attention goes to this person, your energy goes to this person. So in the end, you focus more on this person instead of focusing on other people or situations you would like. In that moment, you could take back your attention, focus more on yourself, so less energy would go to this person. And maybe you could really focus on yourself, relax, neutralize your energies, maybe talk with other people, and really take your attention back from the person or situation you don't like, because you anyway can change it in that moment. As a next step, you could simply focus more of your attention and so more of your energy to a person or a situation you like or you want to attract in your life. So, for example, you could really talk with some nice friends you really enjoy spending time with, or you could do something you like, you could eat something you like, and really focus your full attention on the people or situations you like. And in the end, you would send more energy to that. And as a consequence, you would attract more and more of that what you like with that simple trick. Sometimes it's enough to take the energy back and take the attention away from the things we don't like, and to center ourselves, to calm down, to relax, and to have our energy back. And as a next step, to focus our attention and energy on the things we want to manifest and the things we like. Sometimes it's enough, but sometimes there are situations where there's something behind this resistance. We have this resistance against something, so it means the resistance has something to do with ourselves. So, for example, if we have resistance against the person who is very self-confident, who is very charismatic and comes into the room and attracts the attention of everyone, so why should we have resistance against this person? This person is just the way she or he is. So in that moment, the resistance has to do something with ourselves. Could it be that we have resistance against this person because we don't feel so confident, so self-confident? Or is it that we feel like a bit threatened and we are afraid that this person takes or receives all the attention of everyone and we feel alone? Or is it because we don't allow ourselves to show up in that way and to attract the attention? So in that case, it's really worth it to take a deeper look or to take a closer look at it and to ask ourselves why we have resistance against such a behavior. Or could it be that we have resistance against people who are not listening to other people or who are not listening to us? Why should we have resistance? We could say, okay, so this person doesn't want to listen to me or doesn't want to listen to others, so it's their decision. It has nothing to do with me. So in that moment, we are neutral and it has really nothing to do with us because we are calm. We just accept it and maybe we can say, please, would be great if you could listen to me, because it's an important thing I want to tell you. But if we react with resistance against this behavior, it means that probably our parents didn't listen to us and we still feel hurt because of that. Or maybe that we don't listen to ourselves and we feel the need to be listened to, and this person is not fulfilling the need either. So, and another example of resistance could be that, for example, a person who is very dominant, for example, a boss who is very dominant and tells us in an energetic way what we have to do. Why should we have resistance against this person? Of course, we don't have to like it, but why, for example, do we feel like very like small and like threatened or maybe forced to do things? Why do we give him, why do we accept this behavior, and why do we give him the power to make us feel that way? So in that moment we give the power away. So if we take a closer look, we can find out that we can take the power back and maybe do some exercises to strengthen our self-confidence or our power or our communication, and tell our boss next time that and that he shouldn't behave in that way, that he can tell it in a very normal and respectful way. So in all of these cases, it's so important to check what it has to do with ourselves. Another example could be that, for example, we react with resistance against people who show their emotions, against people who show their vulnerability. And maybe we react with resistance because we don't allow ourselves to show our vulnerability. Probably because we are afraid of being heard of other people, or because we really don't allow to show our vulnerable sides because we don't like it, we don't understand it, we don't know what to do with it. And then this person simply shows their vulnerable side and we don't know what to do. But in that moment it also has to do with ourselves. And we can be really happy that we react with resistance and then can find a way to accept ourselves more and more, because this person showed us that there is a weak point, that there is a point we can work on and we can become more ourselves, right? And many people say like, yeah, but if I accept everything and if I just be calm with everything, then I accept that without any resistance, and it's more, so I will have more, I attract this more in my life. That's not true. Actually, if we accept things and we lower the resistance and understand why we had this resistance, we can really use it as a tool to empower ourselves. And the more important, even more important, we will attract more of this what we want because of the law of attraction. If we accept, for example, our vulnerable side, and it's really there, and we allow ourselves to be vulnerable and to be strong and to be happy and to be sad, then it's more, we are living more in the flow. And the cool thing is that we will attract more people who are also living in the flow because of the law of attraction. So thanks to this process, we can become more ourselves. We can let go of all the resistance, have more energy for ourselves, and become more our true selves and live our true essence. So I recommend you to try that for the next weeks and maybe months if you want, to check where do you have resistance, against what do you have resistance, and why, what does it have to do with yourself. And in the next step maybe you can build up the strength, the self-confidence, the power, the freedom within yourself in order to become more powerful and happy. So I wish you a lot of joy with this process, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.